I've always been the ghost at my own family's feast. At my sister Vanessa's garden soiree, I lingered by the patio's edge, clutching a seltzer, the fizz mirroring the chatter that bubbled too brightly around me. The laughter was sharp, almost choreographed, and I knew its rhythm by heart. Vanessa's spotlight moment was coming. She launched into a tale about me, little Ellie Harper, who once tripped over a jump rope in 4th grade and wailed like the world had collapsed. She painted it vividly, adding flourishes that never happened, and the guests roared. My mother's cackle sliced deepest, my father chuckled, classic Ellie, with a knowing grin. I stayed silent, tracing the rim of my glass. Then, like a breeze cutting through a storm, a small voice broke the spell. But she flies the planes. The chatter froze. Head swiveled. Vanessa's 11-year-old daughter, Nora, stood by the fire pit, clutching a marshmallow stick, her eyes wide and guileless. Aunt Ellie showed me her cockpit. She flies big planes. Vanessa's smile twitched. I sipped my seltzer, letting the moment breathe, heavy and unscripted. Some truths don't need your voice, they just need someone who sees. Growing up with Vanessa was like living in a shadow that danced louder than you ever could. She was golden-haired, quick-tongued, the kind of kid who could charm a room before she even spoke. I was the quieter one, brown-haired, always with a book, fading into the wallpaper of our family's story. If Vanessa was a supernova, I was a flicker. People gravitated to her, I was the afterthought. I learned young to shrink, to let her fill the space. Every milestone I reached, honor roll, debate club, was eclipsed by her cheerleading trophies or her lead in the school play. Vanessa's got that spark, my dad would say, tousling her hair. Ellie, you're our steady one, my mom would add, as if steadiness was a consolation prize. Steady clung to me like damp cloth. By high school, I stopped competing for their gaze. The less I shared, the less they could compare. I worked evenings at a diner, saving for flight lessons I never mentioned. I applied to aviation schools in secret, half convinced they'd scoff if I told them. When my acceptance letter arrived, I read it alone in my beat-up sedan, the paper trembling in my hands. It felt like I'd claimed something they couldn't touch, a life beyond Vanessa's orbit. At family dinners, I kept it vague. Still at the airport, I'd mumble, and they'd nod, already pivoting to Vanessa's latest venture, a boutique, a blog, a baby shower that trended online. I didn't correct them. Being unseen was easier, safer. What they didn't know was that while they chuckled over tales of clumsy Ellie, I was piloting charters across continents, navigating thunderstorms, and landing jets for diplomats and rock stars. I never invited them to see. My first solo flight was in a weathered Piper Cherokee, its throttle gritty under my palm. I was 20, heart hammering, but when the ground fell away, I thought, this is mine. I trained in Texas, far from the polite chill of home, working baggage claim and scrubbing hangars to afford extra simulator hours. By 27, I had my commercial license. By 31, I was flying Citation X's for a private firm serving tycoons and senators. My family? They still thought I worked at the airport. Once, at a holiday brunch, Vanessa asked, so, do you direct planes with those glow sticks? I smiled. Something like that. She didn't press, they never did. I kept my world tucked away, no pilot wings on display, no cockpit selfies online. I didn't need their applause. But sometimes, I wondered, what kind of family never asks, what do you dream of? What do you do when we're not looking? I wasn't hiding, I just wasn't begging to be seen. Maybe that was my quiet rebellion. The invite to Vanessa's barbecue came via a group chat, her usual breezy command, family barbecue Saturday, bring a side, let's reconnect. I almost skipped it, charter pilots are always on call, but something nudged me to go. I typed I'll come and instantly regretted it. Vanessa followed up, bring your potato salad, everyone loves it. I hadn't made it in a decade, but I said, sure. Her next text was a photo of her decked-out yard, twinkle lights, artisanal tables, Nora's new swing set staged like a magazine spread. Classic Vanessa, scripting the day before it began. Saturday was warm, the air thick with jasmine. I wore a plain gray tee, jeans, no fuss. I parked a street over, habit from years of slipping in unnoticed. The yard buzzed, neighbors, cousins, Vanessa gliding through, wineglass in hand, like a queen at court. She spotted me mid-pour. "Ellie." Just in time to flip burgers, she teased, tossing me a spatula. Always the helpful one. I took it, playing along. I wasn't here to fight, I was here to watch. The evening unfolded predictably. Vanessa held court, regaling everyone with stories of her perfect life, Nora's dance recital, her husband's tech startup. I mentioned a recent flight to Lisbon. My dad blinked. "Lisbon? That's near Florida, right?" I nodded. "Sure, Dad." They didn't dig deeper, and I didn't offer. As dusk settled, Vanessa's stories turned to me. "Remember when Ellie got stuck in a tree at summer camp?" she crowed, eyes glinting. "Cried till the counselor climbed up after her." Laughter rippled. My uncle snorted, "Really, Ellie?" I stared at my seltzer, unmoved. She went on, or that time she bombed her history speech? Just stood there, mute. The crowd lapped it up, oblivious to the caricature they were swallowing. Then Nora stood, her marshmallow stick dangling. "Mom," she said, voice steady, "why were you picking on Aunt Ellie?" Vanessa faltered. "I'm not, sweetie, just joking." Nora turned to me, then back. "She flies planes. Big ones." She showed me the controls. "She's a pilot." Silence crashed down, thick and jagged. Glasses stilled. Someone coughed, swallowed it. Vanessa's mouth hung open. My parents' head snapped toward me. I didn't blink, didn't smile, just let the truth sit, heavy as granite. A cousin muttered, "A pilot?" Nora nodded, matter of fact. "She flies people all over the world." My mother's voice wobbled. "Ellie, you fly jets?" I tilted my head. "You never asked what I flew." My father tried a laugh. "Well, you're full of secrets." I met his eyes. "No, you just never looked." The air was taut, no one daring to break it. Vanessa's gaze darted, her poise crumbling. For once, her script had failed. Nora sidled up to me, her small hand brushing mine, grounding me in the chaos. Vanessa's voice was barely a whisper. "Why didn't you tell us?" I looked at her, calm. "You never left room to hear me." I stood, smoothing my shirt. Nora tugged my sleeve. "You leaving?" I crouched. "For now." "Wanna see the cockpit again sometime?" Her eyes sparkled. "Yeah." I smiled, ruffled her hair, and walked to the gate. No one stopped me. Their silence wasn't empty, it was the weight of a truth they'd ignored too long. The next day, at 39,000 feet, the sky was endless. No questions, no laughter, just the hum of engines and the trust of strangers. Nora's voice echoed, "She flies planes, not past tense, not a dream, now, real." I didn't need Vanessa's apology or their sudden interest. I had what I'd built, wings, horizon, and the quiet power of knowing who I am. Up here, the sky doesn't ask for your story, it just lets you soar.